You are live.
Oh, for real?
All for real.
For real, for real?
For real, for
Say we're
real.
live?
For real, for real. We live. Live.
Uh, uh, there it is. I'm rolling the intro.
What are you doing? Just roll the damn
God
intro.
bless America and gentlemen, start your engine!
Still down there. Still down there.
Still outside corner, your number one.
Was out. Hell was out. Dancer just about out wrecked him. And then she busted her ass.
Is your internet lagging again?
No, I mean just yours because you're not even in your stream room.
Yeah. So, we were racing at Daytona this weekend.
Were we? I can't remember because it didn't act like Daytona. That's for sure.
That was the best damn super speedway race I've seen in quite a long time.
Dude, that third line when it started getting, we'll have to talk about a lot of that in this episode because I agree. This was by far the best super speedway in the next gen car, period. I don't know if it's tires. I don't know if it's because the track is wearing more out. I don't know what it is, but that was some darn good racing.
Yeah, I guess it was a combination of both. Maybe the fuel strategy that was going on because they said that they were riding around like half throttle, especially the leaders. So it was kind of backing up those lines, and anybody that wanted to make a new line, they just flat-foot it.
Yeah. I mean, Kyle Busch, he definitely he got the first line. I think he did it the first and second time. Oh, goodness gracious. You're lagging on your side.
You're lagging on your side.
Bro, your mouth is open, frozen on your screen. It's crazy.
It's all you, dog.
That you can be that ugly and still at the same time. It is just amazing. So, yeah. So I mean, it was a great racing weekend. I don't understand why trucks raced on Sunday. I didn't watch any of the truck race at all. I do like that Grant Enfinger won because it's kind of a middle finger, in my opinion, to GMS, who's shutting them down.
That's news to me that Grant won. Are you alive? Well, what's up, Joseph? At least somebody's in here.
You're literally just sitting still.
Dude, your internet is like so whack.
I wasn't even on the internet. That was cellular.
Dude, you're not even
there. Sure. So it's definitely your end.
No, it's
my end's fine.
End.
Like it's just streaming.
You're completely frozen.
Bro, I'm on LTE. No, bro. It's okay. You got that trash Dollar General going on over there.
No. It's definitely. Which one is it, Joseph? Since you're the one that's in here. Okay, look.
I'm just watching Andy.
I'm gonna pull it up and look.
I'm just
Dude, it's definitely you. I'm gonna pull it up and look. Dude, it's definitely you.
I purposely froze my face there. Y'all are both lagging. See, that's what I thought. Dollar store internet over there.
It's all you, dog.
I purposely froze my face there. Y'all are both lagging. Damn. It's just gonna be another one of those episodes until I get this. I gotta get that router put in. and then I will be done with this whole thing because the internet's fast as crap when I get close to it. But I'm on cellular right now, so you slow. You're lagging behind.
Harriet Tubman.
But yeah, Grant won. So got the Harriet Tubman internet. She's got to go back and forth with data bits.
I think we're just going to look at a frozen shot of David here.
Josiah. Your internet is trash.
It's not me, dude.
It's been your internet being trash.
No,
for
it's
a very
not
long
me.
time.
I'm going to do a speed test
Your
right
star
now.
net rashes.
I'm going to do a speed test and show
All
you.
right. So did you watch the Xfinity race at all?
Yeah. I was more excited for the
I
Xfinity
just
race
tested
going
the
into
speed
it.
on mine. Mine's running 9. Mine's running 962 with a 32 upload.
$73.
73?
Yeah.
I don't get out of bed for less than 800.
And I got 20, 21, 22 upload.
I'm 936 and 32 upload.
What's your point?
You out there with that dollar store 70s.
It doesn't matter what the internet speeds are. What's your connection speed?
What's your ping? My ping's 32. What's your ping?
My ping was 18.
Bullshit. You're fucking running StarNet.
It's Starlink. You can get that right.
Sorry. Starlink.
Currently, right now, it is 30. We're going to have a podcast about internet speeds. Is what we're going to do.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, you're fucking all frozen on your screen, dog.
Dear sweet heavens. It's Dakota's fault. I blame Dakota at all times when it comes to connection issues. It
Dakota,
makes more
who
sense.
Is it David or is it mine?
On mine, I keep moving. I keep watching you just freeze up.
I keep moving on mine, so it's got to be you, dog.
I'm just literally watching you just.
I got 900 down, but you don't have any Wi-Fi, so there's your problem.
You lying some bitch. You couldn't even change your name for the fantasy.
Your ass.
Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. You couldn't even change your name for NASCAR fantasy going on right now. Damn it. I hate all y'all. Andy's service is impeccable. Yeah, that's how I know you're fucking lying. He's got that fucking dollar store going on.
We couldn't hear anything you said because you're pulling a Dakota.
Just saying, it's because you got
this is. This is terrible.
It's because your fan's going. It's having to keep up with the fan upload. Dude, it's you're slowing us all down.
It's not me.
Dakota, I need you to.
All right, let's talk about this race since we're on dollar store internet and shitty Wi-Fi.
Bro, I need a hardwired connection going.
I told you that like years ago.
Your shit ain't any better.
Might be better with dial-up.
You're literally hurting the bandwidth.
Hey,
I am
changing your contact name. I'm changing your contact name to American Online.
That's fine. Just turn your fan off so it has to stop buffering the fact that the fan's spinning. You're bogging down the streaming platform here.
The fan has nothing to do with it.
Goodness gracious. Fixes the fan, it's going to all work.
Oh, Daytona. Xfinity. I think it made it worse.
Because it's got to stop. It's got to physically stop and then go backwards. Once it goes backwards, it'll restore everything.
I'm not getting up there to stop it.
It's just going and going. All right, let's get into the race. Let's start talking.
I've been saying that for the last 5 minutes, but you see your shitty ass internet won't even.
I've been trying to get
transcribe
racing,
that.
But you can't hear anything because your internet's so shit. That's what's going on.
I can hear and see you fine. You just keep freezing.
Mine's fine on my end. I don't know what you're talking about.
Not on my end.
Look, it's gotten so much better since that fan slowed down.
All right, McLovin. Let's talk about NASCAR.
Wendy's. It's for our boy, all right?
This is fucking terrible. Everybody's gonna just fucking leave because they keep fucking lagging.
Turn this shit.
What? We don't want him here, Joseph.
Switch it back. Switch it over to the other side, and let's see what it does. There we go. All right. So, who did you watch Xfinity, or did you not watch Xfinity?
Yes. Yeah, I watched Xfinity. I watched the whole damn thing.
How'd you think it was?
It was one of the best Xfinity races I've seen in a damn long time, too.
So, would you say that they should have ran all 3 series all at Daytona instead of, for some reason, taking trucks to wherever they end up going? I think it was Milwaukee.
I don't know, because the truck race always seems like it's a crash fest anyway, so I'd be okay with the trucks only racing at Daytona once a year.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. The Xfinity race was pretty good. I only caught bits and pieces of it. I didn't see who ended up winning. Was it Sam?
No, it was
That was last week. Sam won.
it was Allgaier.
Allgaier won. That's what it was. So I remember.
Yeah, it was like the 4th closest finish in Xfinity history at Daytona, because Sheldon Creed lost. Like, when they were interviewing Justin, they showed the photo shot, or whatever you fucking call it, there at the start finish line.
Photo finish.
Photo finish. Jesus Christ. They showed that it's not the
Dumb
internet.
internet.
It's something else. They showed the photo finish, and it was like everybody's reaction in the stands were like, what just happened? Because they didn't know it was that close.
Yeah. Well, Sheldon kind of messed it up there at the end, because he could have came down and blocked, and instead of coming down and blocking, he didn't, because I guess he thought his line was better, and then Allgaier just.
I mean, there was a situation there that, well, Sheldon actually got screwed there on one of those last pit stops and had to restart like 9th or something like that. And then there was the big wreck. And I was actually listening to Sheldon's radio, and they're like, well, that was actually a blessing in disguise that actually happened. And so Sheldon was able to get through there unscathed with any damage or anything. And on that last lap, Sheldon pulled high to actually like go around Justin into turn 3. And like, I don't know why nobody talked about this like on the broadcast, but on the replay, it looked like he swerved, like he got really loose or something, and he definitely checked up, like no doubt about it. He checked up going, trying to make the pass. And if that wouldn't have happened, I think Sheldon would have been able to carry the momentum and possibly win that race, if not even clear Justin going through 4.
Yeah, I think I saw what you're talking about, where it looked like he did get loose, had a little bit of wiggle, had to get out and get back into it. And that obviously hurt his momentum coming into it too. So Allgaier was able to get around. I'll tell you what, Sam, Sam's been doing great. Obviously, he's won 2 out of the last 5 races, I think, for Xfinity. And he's been doing great with his top 10s, like great all year. I think this one, he just kind of ran out of talent there at the end with the accident that he ended up getting in. I don't think it was really his fault whenever I remember from watching that piece, because I just saw bits and pieces basically from the kitchen. But I'm glad Junior Motorsports is figuring out, because for a while there, it was looking bad for Junior Motorsports. I mean, Brandon Jones is still not finishing races because he gets in a wreck every single week, it feels like. But Sam.
And he re-signed for next year too, which I don't think anybody saw that coming.
No, I think all of us were thinking he was gone. I mean, supposedly, listening to Freddie Kraft talk about it, Sam was also in the hot seat for getting moved out of that ride. So they were going to have 2, because obviously Josh Berry just gave up on Xfinity. I feel like I didn't hear his name but one time, and that's because I think he got involved a little bit with the accident all day on Friday, whenever it was, for that race.
It just seems like Josh has been, top 10, knocking on top 5 week in, week out, but he's not consistently running for wins. He's not leading laps. We're not seeing the speed that he had last year. And I don't know if that's just, associated with all the fill-ins and substitutions that he's had to do in the Cup Series this year. And then now, of course, the news going to Stuart Haas next year taking over Kevin's car. So I don't know if any of that – I would imagine it does. There's, more going on there. That Junior Motorsports has fast cars. Allgaier's got a second win. Mayer's got 2 wins on the year. But it just seems like – that Josh is kind of playing that third fiddle right now.
Yeah. And, it's kind of interesting talking about how he's going to Stuart Haas and everything now, because there's a lot of news coming out of Stuart Haas that's kind of concerning, in my opinion, too, because, he needs a team. And he, obviously that car's been doing good. It's been the only car doing good. But they're talking about them selling possibly 2 charters out of that thing before the year even ends, basically. Well, not before the year ends, but before 2024 even starts, because of some apparent financial woes. So that doesn't sound like that much of a great deal for Barry if I'm him, worrying about, am I going to have teammates? Who's the teammate that stays? Is Briscoe staying? Or, because I think everyone's gone.
It'd definitely be Briscoe. And I know what you're talking about, because it was kind of thrown around in the group chat, and there's been rumors about it too. And honestly, I would not be shocked if they sell at least one of their charters, and it would most likely be the 10 car, because if Eric retires, then Smithfield's most likely going to leave, and Smithfield's a huge financial asset to Stuart Haas. So who are you going to get, 1, to fill the car, and 2, do they have any money to bring? And if they don't, that's a charter and everything that let's talk about charters for a second. They're fucking expensive. So they could
40
net
to
a
50
lot of
million is the evaluation right now.
They could net a lot of money out of this just selling one of their charters and be able to reinvest that, back in the team, or, whatever is going on. And I don't know what the financial, nobody's going to know what the financial, stability of these teams are, but I would be reasonably betting that, Stuart Haas is stretched way too thin between both financial and resources. We've got 4 cars, none of them are running good. Even Kevin the last couple of weeks, there's been no speed. And then Gene Haas himself, he's putting money into the 41. They have their Xfinity team. Plus, don't forget, they're over in Formula One as well. So
yeah.
I don't know how much Gene is banking, but I would be, guessing he's putting a lot of money into a lot of places.
Yeah, but even Tony's got a lot of money. The dude's got a few different. He's got
of course. He's got his dirt stuff. He owns the All-Star Circuit of Champions wing sprint car series. He owns that series. Eldora, SRX, and then of course the Cup team, Xfinity team, NHRA. Tony's definitely spread thin too. So I don't know. I would not be shocked to see one of those charters, if not 2, be sold off.
Yeah, I just don't know. I could see Areola leaving and retiring. Apparently Smithfield, there's already rumors that they were leaving regardless. And if they leave, Areola has no main sponsors. That car's gone. But I don't know. Like, Priest obviously hasn't had a great year. Custer's not doing great. There's not a lot of money, but the main business, like these race teams are write-offs for the main businesses. So, merch sales and all that, that's where the money is, realistically. Ford isn't balancing, it feels like. It's support more than ever. And RFK, with its financing, is able to win. Maybe someone else needs to come in and buy into Stuart Haas. Maybe Dale Jr. needs to come in and buy in, and that's his 2 charters for going to Cup. I don't know, because I don't see him buying charters right now. He's talked about it multiple times, how he's not, he doesn't think the value is worth it right now.
Dale,
yeah.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't see that. And I still think a prime example of given the current situation is that look at RFK. 2 cars, and because of that, they only have 2 cars to focus on. They don't have to prepare 3 or 4 cars. They're not stretched thin. They can instantly go out there and, stop blowing up the fucking group chat with that bullshit. I saw that shit. They can go out there and the 6 and 17 can go out there and run competitively and, are identical cars. We've talked about it in the past that you have races that the 6 and 17 run really good and they both run really good. And then there's races that they run bad and they run really bad. So I don't think smooth as glass. Yeah, you're fucking fat ass. I don't think downsizing Stewart-Haas would be a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be good. I think it'd be good, but the problem would be, this is why I don't think a lot of this makes sense to me, is because they were talking about 2311 moving to Ford, Stewart-Haas moving to Chevy. Like, those moves don't make sense with it, but I could see 2311 picking up another charter.
Yeah,
I could see RCR picking up another charter.
Yeah, I would see if the 11 or not the 11, but if the 10 car charter got sold at the end of this year going into 2024, I would be willing to bet that 2311 would be the first team that would be in there in negotiations or trying to buy that charter, because Denny's already made it clear, that they want at least 3 cars. They think that's their perfect number.
Yeah, and RCR, I mean, Austin Hill just extended saying he was going to stick with RCR. Maybe he knows something. Maybe they're going for this charter too. That way they can get a third car. I mean, I don't know, but it kind of would make some sense. But I do want to talk real quick. Obviously, Colleague still hasn't filled in Justin Haley's old ride. And Rice came out about, I think it's yesterday, day before yesterday, said everyone's going to be surprised, but they do have someone lined up for the car.
They're just waiting to announce that till like after the middle of the playoffs, just to wait for all the publicity and stuff to die down. So I read an article last week too. Who do I think it is?
Who do you think it is?
I don't even have a clue.
I think with them saying it's going to be a surprise, I really want to say Noah, but unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen. I think Noah is going to go back to Xfinity. Dale Jr. even said that's what he needs to do. Go there and win. But I think with him saying it's going to be a surprise, originally I was going Hocevar, but I think Hocevar is probably going to go over to the 42.
Hocevar's not ready.
I think someone's going to give him the chance. I don't think they care. So I think it's either Hocevar or it might be Matty D. He's got experience in the Cup car, something they can use.
He doesn't have experience in the next gen car.
Hocevar, but he does in Cup.
Hocevar is a Chevrolet driver, so you're not going to see him in a legacy car next year.
You never know. He's a scary driver, but there's buyouts for a reason.
I don't know. I don't even know who to guess. I saw that there's rumors like people are saying, "Oh, SVG is going to be in the car next year." That's not going to happen at all. Like
he's trying to get out of his piece, but he needs to go truck.
But even if he does come over next year, like they've said that they'll let him out, but even if he does come over next year, he's not going to jump in a Cup car and go oval racing. He has no experience.
Yeah, no,
he's going to have to start in trucks.
He needs to start in trucks or go Xfinity. I mean, I can see him going into Xfinity, but trucks is going to be the closest. I mean, we're seeing it now that people that are in trucks moving over are doing a ton better than the ones from Xfinity moving over. I mean, even Haley Deegan, who can't get a truck glory win to save her life, she's coming over, and even in Xfinity, she did really good. I like to see what she could do in Cup for one race, because she's got money somewhere. I don't know where it's coming from, but she's got money coming from somewhere. Maybe that OnlyFans that nobody knows about. But it's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So, Xfinity, we had a remarkable finish to that race. Allgaier won. Creed barely lost out. Man, I feel bad for Creed. I was pulling so hard for Creed. I want him to win
I thought he was going to get the first win finally.
Yeah, I want him to win so bad. I was gutted for him because those RCR cars, boy, were they fucking strong all night.
Yeah, his teammate, Jesus, thing's still updating. His teammate was out there going crazy and wild too. And I mean that I don't think I've ever seen that scheme finish a race with all its body panels.
Which one?
single
The
time.
coupe?
No, for 21.
Oh,
I think every single time I've seen that car in a race, at least the scheme, it's finished missing pieces. I don't think I've ever seen it finish a clean race.
yeah. That was the best paint scheme of the weekend for sure.
For sure.
It was cool to see though. Jeb run the 22, the throwback to Ward at Daytona. Of course, old Jay Guap was able to work on the 27 for Jordan himself. They kind of moved. Yeah, and Larry Mack.
And Larry Mack. Dude,
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty brag worthy. That's like that's something that you got to put in there and be like, listen, I got to work with Larry Mack. And he was talking about how he got to work with him on tires, and he had to wear a different color cap that way it could be easy to notice in the group to talk about tires. Like that's sick.
That's pretty sick. That's like check it off the bucket list. Like not even that. Like you couldn't even put that on the bucket list, but you got to check it off. Like that's legit. But that's cool that Jordan Anderson came in, ran a race. I think that wasn't that the first race? He's been back since his horrible fire at Talladega.
Didn't he run Darlington? I could have swore he ran Darlington while we were there.
I don't know.
But he didn't finish.
You know why Larry Mack was crew chief in that car, right?
No, why?
Jordan's married to Larry's daughter.
Yeah, that's his son-in-law.
Yeah, I would have strong feelings that would probably be the main reason why. Although Larry did crew chief Jeffrey at Daytona last year, or not Daytona, but Talladega last year. The race we were at.
Yeah, no, I mean it's awesome. I mean that's great for them, great for Jaguar. Congratulations, buddy. But let's move over into Cup because there's a lot of storylines in Cup from basically the beginning all the way through. So, I mean, that race from the start was a great race. Kyle Busch did not want to be denied, so he started a third lane. What up, Dalton?
Yo, Dalton, my guy. As soon as you said Kyle Busch, I'll turn.
It's gonna cause the lagging to start again. It was all.
Don't have to see your fat ugly face,
bro. It hasn't. As soon as you turn it off, been smooth sailing.
You did something else. Probably switched over your cell servers or some shit.
No, I've been on the entire time.
All right, Black Nolan.
Killing me, Smalls. Killing me. But no, so you had Rowdy getting out there, causing that third line because, like they're saying, they couldn't be in the gas, and so basically it made a third line come in strong, and it got rowdy there for a little bit, and I thought at any second the big one is going to happen. Yeah, he was definitely fast. Obviously Daytona is a big
RCR car
track still. Yeah, in general.
Yeah, RCR cars in general were fast all weekend, both Xfinity and Cup. We talked about Xfinity, but I mean, even the Cup guys, even Austin, he was fast. He showed speed. So good for RCR having a good turnout of a weekend. I mean, they may not have won the race, but each one. But look, they definitely showed their force. And yeah, we saw early on. I thought that as soon as the green flag dropped, we were going to get a single file train, and it never happened. They raced the entire first stage double wide. There was a couple guys that lost the draft, but that first full stage, they were definitely 2 wide most of the race. And then we moved into the second stage, and that's when the 3 wide action came on, and that was incredible. I said at the very beginning, it was the best super speedway race we've seen with the next gen car so far.
Period. But they went single file. It was only for a couple laps.
They definitely did, but they definitely did. They went single file in the third stage just to kind of conserve fuel and everything. But I thought that at the very beginning, we're going to see 10 laps of them, running 2 wide, maybe some 3 wide action or everything, and then just make the train run the top line and wait till 5 or 6 laps to go in stage 1 and stage 2 and get your stage points.
They showed out, but
we've also seen with the package and everything too that it's hard to pass. So they're gonna have to race.
Yeah, this was all aero. You needed that third line and you needed enough cars in it because it really was. If you had 2 cars, you weren't good enough. If you get 3 cars linked together, you could actually make something happen. But as soon as that third car came off of the back bumper, that line was dead. Third line, because of them being able to basically ride in the gas, they were able to stay there and stick together and push it forward. But as soon as basically whoever was leading that line moved over into the second lane or the first lane, third lane died every single time.
Yeah, I think, and to Dalton's point too, with the nighttime conditions. I mean, what was our last super speedway race? Atlanta summer race or fall race, if somebody wants to chime in and say it's the fall race. But the July Atlanta race, it was a night race, and that at the time that was the best super speedway race we've seen with the next gen, car or the super speedway package. So I
Track was
think
still hot, still slick.
yeah, I think we've been really treated. I don't know what to expect at Talladega. It's going to be a cooler race, fall race. I don't know, and it's a playoff race too. So,
I mean, I just want to say it was a Saturday night race too, and that might be why it was so great because we all knew that we got to rest the next day. Thank goodness for Saturday night races. They need more of them. Do not get rid of them. Bring more back.
yeah, this was the first of two. Am I right? Like, I don't think there's been any Saturday night races at all this year, other than Daytona
You got Bristol coming
and
up.
Bristol. Yeah.
Yeah, Bristol coming up. So I mean, that's gonna be great. I hope we get more night racing. I wish we could get more Saturday night racing. I know they're not going to, unfortunately. I agree with you, old Dalton. Oops, that was quick. Dude. Yeah, make sure we get all the handicap fans, time on the screen. But
so coming to the end of stage 2, we saw a massive wreck.
And we kind of all knew that was going to be coming at some point. Unfortunately, it was Ty Gibbs running out of talent and just right rearing Ryan Blaney again.
He did
both times this year. He got right reared.
I'm gonna defend Ty a little bit. There was a little bit of help there from his teammate Christopher Bell.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there was a rookie up front, and we saw a huge, massive wreck. And Ryan Blaney, it was not a good weekend for Ryan's.
No. Not
Ryan
at all.
Blaney took a hell of a hit. That was very Earnhardt-esque.
Mm-hmm. And, Ryan Preece, obviously he had that incident with Larson earlier this year. The dude is finding all the weak points in these cars. And that's unfortunate for him. But watching Ryan Blaney hit the wall the way he did and watching that wall flex, I thought he was going to be, out for a while because his eyes, whenever they showed the in-car, you see him just sit there just blinking. And I'm just like, this dude is rough right now.
Yeah, he had his bell rung for sure. Had to definitely catch his breath more than anything. And then even when he got out of the car, he was leaning up against the car looked like he was going to fall down. But, and even Ty Gibbs, he said the same thing. I don't know if you heard his in-car or anything, but he was cussing and saying, these piece of shit cars, that fucking hurts, that type of stuff, just – and Ty took a hard hit too. The nose of his car was completely smashed. Thank God they have improved the front of those cars and added more crumple zones because what we saw with the Preece Larson accident at Talladega, they came in and made sure that a lot of those reinforcements were removed to help the car crush. So thank God they implemented that.
I would hate to see what this would have looked like prior to the Atlanta change with that front substructure.
Yeah, that definitely would have been a harder hit.
It could have been really bad for him because that wall was flexing. And I mean, that took out a chunk of people too.
I'm surprised they didn't have to stop and repair the wall because that was, that we've seen it in the past. Those situations.
Yeah, and then did you understand what was going on with Brad whenever he had to do his whole swerve around?
He said under yellow that there was smoke in the cockpit, and I think the team was afraid that the right front was on fire, like we've seen in the past of the Fords with the rubber buildup. And so they told him to, keep the car moving to, make sure hopefully it wouldn't burn. So that's what that was about.
I literally went to the bathroom, came back, and they were showing him on screen. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? It's a red flag. We're not supposed to be moving. And then finally they were like, they thought there was a fire. So he was able to do it because of the safety thing. So they allowed him to do it. And everyone's like, well, he shouldn't be able to move. I'm like, that saved RFK and the win. Because without Brad, Buescher would not have won this race.
Here's another thing too. I don't know when NASCAR made the change to where if you're under red, that you can't even have your car towed back to pits.
That's dumb.
Like, that's the dumbest fucking thing, like, on the fly rule that they changed. And I'm not trying to be biased because Larson was involved in a situation like that this weekend, but we had 4 or 5 cars that were all on flat tires that could not move. They were stuck. They all need to be pushed back. So rather than get them back to pit road prior to lifting the red flag, because they can't work on the car anyways, so what difference does it make? What difference does it make?
Well,
so
did you hear what they said on TV? Because they talked about it on TV.
They wanted to make it fair.
Yeah, they said they hooked everyone up or got behind to push. That way, as soon as it went back to yellow flag, that it would be fair and everyone would get there at the same time. The cars weren't at the same spots. That would to be fair. They would have
they were already. Most of those cars are already a lap down because they couldn't figure out how to pull their fingers out of their ass and hook the cars up. Like, I was listening to Larson's onboard and everything, and I swear it was almost as bad as Joey at Pocono. Larson even said it. He said, if you listen to my in-car, it probably would have sounded like Logano, just less cuss words. But he was screaming at the track crews, like, push the fucking car. They kept, like, looking at the car, and the field went around. They lapped him one time, and they just kept looking at the car. He started his car up twice or 3 times, revved it up, like, did a burnout and everything, like, trying to get their attention. Like, I don't understand what that was all about. They cost 4 or 5 cars, laps for sure.
But he still got to be 2 laps down and trying to help Chase. So I think that's all they really cared about at the time.
Well, that was the talk on the radio, and of course after he was 2 laps down, Cliff was like, you can go out there and help Chase, push Chase to the win, or you can ride around in the back. And Larson was like, I'm probably going to ride around in the back because I don't want to get in a crash. So somehow he worked his way up there, and then when that last caution came out, it helped that situation because I was definitely rooting against. I was going to be upset if Larson pushed Chase to the win.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would have been because nobody wanted Chase to make it to the playoffs.
I don't think Larson wanted to either.
Playoffs, at least in our group. That's for dang, I'm sure. Yeah. But let's talk about this caution. What a freaking nasty wreck that Ryan Preece got in. That thing looked like what you would see in a movie, not what we would see at Daytona.
That's the worst flip I've seen that I can remember in my life as far as watching NASCAR. Now, we've seen the retro crashes, Rusty Wallace and the MGD car in Talladega. I remember watching – you mean the Ryan Newman wreck in 03? Because I remember watching that one live. But as far as, like, in modern history, that's the worst. Like, that was worse than Newman's for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it just –
and even – I'll put it close because I think the worst wreck I've seen in a very long time was the Newman crash at Daytona in 2020 when he went up in the catch where LaJoie hit him in the door.
Oh, yeah. You talking Austin Dillon's? No.
The one where they were coming to the finish, the checkered at Daytona for 500. It was the one that Hamlin won. Somebody probably knows in the comments, but it was the year that LaJoie drove into the driver door when Newman was upside down, and Newman was out for I don't know a month and a half because he was pretty.
Oh yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, because he ended up having to be out.
I think that was 2020.
I don't remember what year that was, but yeah, this was bad. It changed directions in the air. It started taking flight. People were going over.
Oh, yeah, the right side of the car picked up first.
Yeah, they were going over the grass causing the flip. No, it was going in the air before it touched grass. And then it bit when it hit the grass, causing it to change directions again. But that first time after it grabbed, it flipped 10 times in the air, like blink of an eye. Like, it was super quick. And then it changed directions and tilted the other way and flipped another, 8 times, I think. So, I mean, this thing, that was nasty. Safety, though, that roof hatch and that window net coming out, that has got to be dealt with. That cannot go forward.
And so that's what I was going to say is that the flips, like, it's one thing if the window net or the roof hatch, was like at the end of the flips, like towards the end of the wreck itself. But as soon as that car got airborne and it came back down and landed on the driver's side window, and that's when it started to flip. So that was like the first flip when it landed like that. That was when I noticed the roof hatch was missing. So the roof hatch was instantly gone. And then that first actually hard landing flip was when the window net was compromised and started coming out. So, yeah, we've got to – I know NASCAR's taking that car. I don't know if Stewart Haas will get that car back for a while because they're going to figure out what happened. It's another 41 Stewart Haas car going to R&D for a safety situation.
Yeah, and hopefully they figure out some stuff. Denny was talking about it. I don't know if you've listened to his Actions Detrimental yet, but he was talking about it a little bit today. I'll let you catch up on that before I talk too much into it. But, they got to figure out how to fix it without adding a ton of weight to this car. Or, it keeps coming back up. Do they come out with a next gen 2.0? Obviously, they've had to edit a lot of this car, and we still see short tracks are terrible. Road courses terrible. Now, 1.5 miles, and if super speedways can keep this rolling, maybe we're fixed there. But short tracks and road courses right now are just not it.
Yeah, I mean, look, we can have another same old beat the dead horse debate about adding power and all this other stuff to fix all that. So we're not going to get into all that. And I haven't listened to Actions Detrimental yet, so I will listen to that probably tomorrow and see what Denny has to say. Speaking of Truex, he's your regular season champion, so he locked up the bonus points to carry that into the playoffs now.
36 playoff points.
He is tied with Byron, so they're seated together. And then the rest of it really, honestly, the whole playoffs is going to be a free-for-all. I mean, yeah, Truex and Byron have the most points, but they're not safe. They're only 36 points ahead, so that's one bad race.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think this year's standings currently, the way they are currently sitting, is the closest power rankings I have ever seen.
It's the most competitive.
Oh, for sure. The four that are the last four right now, I could see them completely not making it to the next round because the next tracks are not any of their strong suits. I mean, Bubba's obviously barely squeaking in there anyway. He has 0 stage points, or 0 stage wins, or victories. So he's at that base. He has to win to get to the next level almost, it feels like. Now he can get some stage points, but man, I think it's digging their way out. You got Stenhouse, who has been inconsistent. You got McDowell, who is not a super speedway. There's not a road course, so that's going to be tough. Maybe Kansas, maybe, but I mean, these last four right now would be the first 4 I could see getting out, and the first 4, 1 through 4, is my current who I'd pick for the final 4. Because they're kind of showing their strength. You got William Byron, Martin Truex, Denny Hamlin, and last but not least, you got to put Buescher in there.
I don't know. I mean, we've got out of all the last 4, 13th through 16th, I would say Harvick has the best chance of moving on. I know that they haven't had the speed, especially the 4-car the last couple of weeks, but those are road courses. Harvick pointed his way in by consistency. So, again, he can do that. I mean, Newman exposed the system the first year. You don't have to win to make it to the Final 4. So, Harvick, all he's got to do is be consistent through all of it. He could transfer through. McDowell is a strange case for me because I think that he could exit relatively early or he could make it to the round 8.
I don't see right now. Harvick is the one that I would like to see him be able to make it. Unfortunately, with the way Stewart Haas has been running, with the way those cars have been running, I think he needs a win to get into the next level, and I think don't see it right now.
I think Buescher's going to, or not Buescher, but McDowell's going to struggle a little bit in this first round. But if he has some luck and just has some consistent runs, I think he could make it to the next round, and he's got 2 good tracks, Talladega and Charlotte, in the next round. So that's what I mean. Like there's a road or a path for McDowell to make it through. Buescher is going to be scary because he can run good at the next 3 tracks. He won Bristol last year, so I mean, and he's got the points now too.
Yep.
Then we got Talladega, and Buscher's not a bad road course racer too. So Buscher
He's
can
pretty well
make
rounded.
Buscher can make a legitimate shot to the round of 8, and he could,
Yeah.
boy, he would surprise some people if he makes it to the Final Four. And
I mean,
while I would be
Buscher right now
surprised, but
is
I wouldn't be
fourth.
shocked.
Buscher right now is 4th, so I don't like
Yeah.
seeing him not make it to the round of 8 would be shocking to me. And then I think Brad the same, because Brad and Buscher stick right there with each other. So I mean, those two are.
I think Brad would have a legit shot, so I think he's going to be able to get through the first round. And then look, Talladega next round. Brad's a good super speedway racer too, so there's a possibility there could be 2 RFK cars in the round of 8.
I think it's possible.
What an upset that would be.
I think that right now the one struggling the most to stay into the round of 8 is going to be Ross Chastain, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney. Those 3 to me are the ones that I don't see making it into the round of 8 that most of the time would have been almost a lock.
I don't. That first, there's 4 cars for sure that are going to be the easy out. I mean, Bubba Wallace, Stenthouse, Nick Dow in a way, but it could go either way. I mean, we got Blaney, Reddick. Reddick hasn't really shown the speed either, so who knows how that's going to go. Ross, he's another one. He could be bounced pretty soon because he doesn't have a lot of points to fall back on now. He kind of stacked them up at the beginning of the year, but nothing, nothing really the last, 2 months really.
He's been ever since that talking to, man. He had one good race since they said, oh no, we never talked to him. He's had one good race since then.
It's gonna be one of those. This is gonna be an interesting one to watch. I'm excited for these playoffs because this is gonna be an interesting setup. We don't have 4 Hendrick cars. We don't have 4 Gibbs cars. So we only have 1 Stewart Haas car. So look, there's some spread here. We got 2 2311 cars.
3 Joe Gibbs.
You got a JTG car. You got a fucking front row car. So it's going to be interesting for sure. Hard to believe that we got 10 weeks left.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Obviously, we started our new fantasy this week. Can't wait for that. It's going to be fun to play with the group chat.
Yeah.
But, no. Well,
speaking of fantasy, let's talk about some picks.
Picks. All right. So what we got next? Darlington? You go ahead and go first.
So my easy pick is going to be Larson. I think this is the Darlington race he's going to get it done at. He's faster every single year. And then my sleeper, I could can't really say Buscher's a sleeper anymore.
Yeah, he ain't a sleeper.
You pick somebody outside the playoffs?
Pick somebody outside the playoffs, yeah.
Okay. Chase. I think it'd be a Hendrick. I think it could be a Hendrick race.
I could see it being a Hendrick race. My pick was going to be Byron or Buscher was really close for me. Those 2, I was like, I could see either of them winning that one. Far as outside of it, I would put. I mean, I almost want to say Bowman, but
that's not really a Bowman race to me.
I don't think it is, but I think the fact that he's doing pretty good in consistency again, and so I think he can be at the right place at the right time. That's the reason why, for an under the radar, I could see him maybe squeaking one out. I don't know. I'm not picking. I don't want to pick a Ford for this, obviously.
I thought about picking Ty.
I thought about Ty. I just don't. I
feel like
I
his
don't want to root for
experience
Ty
is a
in
little
any shape or form.
I just feel like his experience is a little low right now for a 500-mile demanding race of Darlington. So that's why I didn't pick Ty.
What if Bubba brings out a win at Darlington? Didn't he finish? He finished in the top 10 for the spring race, I believe.
Look, I'm not going to be surprised by anything in these playoffs because there's so much parity, and I did not have RFK being the number 1 Ford team, and I did not have Buescher winning 3 races before the playoffs. So I'm not writing anybody off.
So when we go up for the Roval, which yes is our next race, we got to go to RFK. We haven't done that.
I've been there.
It's been years.
Yeah, I've been there.
It's been years. When did you go last? It had to be at least 3 years ago.
I went with Joseph one year for the fall race.
Yeah,
when he was living up there.
Yeah, so a lot has changed. We got to go by it.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Got to go by it.
We'll see.
Stop being a lame duck. Let's drive the bus in there. It's got plenty of parking.
We'll see.
Lame duck. All right, well, 50 on the dot. Let's get it. Let's finish her up. Get her on there. Everyone tell Andy we got to drive to RFK. Stop being a lazy goose. And let's make it happen. But that's all I got.
Hey, I'm good. My
All
internet
right.
held through this entire thing. Yours was shit the entire time.
As
So
soon as you turned off the fan, it's amazing. It's like
whose problem is that?
the bandwidth that you were taking up was causing so many issues. But hey, that's cool.
The fan's just spinning.
Yeah, exactly. It's adding
Fan's
more.
not using internet.
Any kind of movement.
The fan doesn't use the internet to run.
The fan is running, causing delay issues because there's more movement that it has to
Dumbest
keep
fucking thing I've
and
ever heard.
transmit.
That's
It's
so
okay.
stupid.
I understand you don't know what you're talking about. It's fine.